Hello everybody, I'm so sorry that I am on late tonight. I did mention in yesterday's live that I was going to probably be on late. My son has made the playoffs of his football team, his football, and so after the game, dinner and everything, we just went real late. So I wanted to jump on today though because I have found something. I was actually looking on YouTube, browsing one night, and scrapbook.com puts out really great videos, and I found these and I was like, those are brilliant. So I've played with them, and what they are is it may just look like a regular um, dome, a foam applicator, but it's not. It's actually a foam dome applicator. And what makes this so cool is that this is your regular applicator, and this is the new dome ones. And there's no hard lines on this. There's no edge. In order to get an edge when you're blending like that real hard line, you have to really push it hard. Whereas this, it's a lot easier. And what I like about these is they kind of mimic the blending brushes, but they are a fraction of the price. They're about $5.50 for 10 of them, so they're 55 cents each. You don't have to buy any special handle for them. Your Ranger handle will work just fine. So I went ahead and purchased 2 sets, and I really like them. I thought it would be fun to make a couple backgrounds today, practice with the blending on them just to see how they work. So I'm going to do that. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to use a stencil. I'm just going to go ahead and blend it out like I would a regular one in like a rainbow type fashion. And I'm going to be using Catherine Pooler ink. The reason is because my Distress Oxides and my Distress inks already do have blending tools, so these don't. So I decided that this would be a great place for me to just get some blending tools, because I wanted to get a sponge applicator for each of them. So you're just going to start off the page and work your way right through like you would a regular bit blending tool. And these again are the domes that are from scrapbook.com. I do have the links provided for you, and I also have the affiliated link for Catherine Pooler if you're interested. I have to tell you that I really like these so much better than the blending tools themselves, because those blending tools, the brushes, it takes forever for me to change ink, and they're super expensive. I do have a set, but at the end of the day, I would rather just have, a little foam pad that is just for my particular project. So I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to pull out some grass skirt, or for my particular ink pad. And then with this grass skirt, I'm going to just put that on up over the limoncello. And again, since there's no hard edges, and I'm not pushing super hard, you're not going to get a line like you do with the typical blending foam pads that we all use on our handles. And I really like that I can interchange them with the handles that I already have, and I don't have to go out and buy another one. I think that's awesome. So the next one I'm going to use is going to be Fiesta Blue. That's going to be this one. So I'm just going to be working with these throughout the process of the video. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just doing like a rainbow background. Now, if I were to press really hard on this, I would get that hard line because I would force an edge. But since I'm not pressing hard, it just really gives just a beautiful flow to it all. I just really love how this works. See how beautifully it just blends through, and if I do a little bit more pressure, I get more color, but I'm not getting any harsh lines, which I totally appreciate. And then next up is going to be my favorite, Rockin' Red. I just love this color. And then after we do this, I'm going to go ahead and try this out with some stencils. Now, I will tell you that with a detail stencil, you do want to use a stencil brush, or you do want to use those blending brushes, because the stencil will tear up your tip, and that's no fun. So you don't, it will tear up this foam tip. So now I use my Rockin' Red more than I use anything else because it is my logo stamp for Bet's Golden, and so I may need to be re-inking this soon. Catherine Puller is the only ink, and I really did this backwards. I should have put purple here. Whoops, oh well. Catherine Puller is the only ink that I will buy a re-inker for. I know I probably should for others, but I just don't use up the ink pad that quick. But these I do. Okay, so there's some red, and then let's do some purple. And I'll create cards with this a little bit later. All right, and then last but not least, we are going to do our Grape Crush. I love this purple. Hello, hi Penny, thanks for joining us. We're just playing around with these dome foam applicators. I think that they're a much better deal than the blending tools, and you can use them with your handles that you already have. And clearly, my handles, I get a lot of use out of. Hey there, it's Belinda. All right, so as you can see, made a really nice background, beautiful blend, and that was just with those foam dome applicators. So this to me is a really great value. So I'm going to go ahead and do another background. This time I'm going to make a butterfly. And so it's going to be a layered background. I don't even know where this is from. Oh, this is from an old kit club called Scrap Goods. You can't even get it anymore. So I'm going to use this bottom piece and this piece right here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get my background. There's a glare there, so I'll switch it out. I want to get my background kind of laid out. So the colors I'm going to use are going to be yellow and red on this. And I think I will pull in also some orange on this as well. My orange twist, which is right here. And I have that foam applicator right there. And the good thing with Catherine Puller is even if you get your foam applicators mixed up, as long as it's within the same color family, you're pretty much okay. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world. So let me move those off, and I'm going to work with the orange, red, and yellow. So let me start first with my yellow because I want to go ahead and just really cover this paper with this yellow. Now, Catherine Puller's ink, I can go ahead and just color this cardstock very quickly by smooshing the entire pad on the paper. But the problem with that for me is that uses up a lot of ink. And I kind of want the background to be just a tiny bit more subtle. So I'm just going to work this in and around the edges, like so. I just don't want that background to be too crazy. And like I said, you know, I'm not even necessarily always starting off on the side, and I'm getting no harsh lines. So I really love these blending tools. I have got, oh, I can't read it. Oh, I just got those. Oh, good, you did. I'm so glad. I didn't even know they existed. I mean, had I not been just looking around on YouTube, I wouldn't even have found out they existed. I've never seen anybody use them before. So, all right, and then from here, I want to take my first layer of my butterfly, and I want to use my orange twist. So I'm just going to take this, and I think I'm going to take some purple tape on this because I don't want it to move around. So I'm going to lay it down upside down like so. And if you don't have purple tape, it's totally cool. You can use washi tape. Just make sure that you put your washi tape on your shirt first. Like rub it off on your shirt so you can get some lint on it and it doesn't tear your paper when it comes up. Not all washi tape will tear, but if it's sticky enough, it can. So I always like to better be safe than sorry. So I'm just going to load this up. Now, again, for this one, you know, that's questionable. We'll see how it does with the end of my dome applicator. Okay, because it might tear it up a little bit. But if it does, then that's okay. It's 55 cents. You know, it's not going to kill me. I don't want to do that all the time, but so it does work really nicely on stencils. But again, I'm not using a super you know, a super detailed one. And no harsh lines. I just love this. They do have handles for it. If you don't have a handle, you can always start off with this, and works on all ink. You know, it's just a foam applicator. Okay, so I'm really liking that coverage. I think so. I think I like that coverage. I'm going to get some more right in there. All right, so that's a pretty coverage. And now I'm going to move my paper up, and I'm going to use my Rockin' Red with this one. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to line it up like so. And again, that purple tape, I can use it several times. It's going to be okay. Hardest part is just lining this up. And I could even go in with a couple colors on this if I wanted to. You know, that would be fun as well. All right, that looks pretty good. So let's just do this one. I think I'm gonna stick with orange on that. I mean, with Rockin' Red on this. Let's see if it can even, if it gets, yep, it got into the little antennas. I'm just being careful to make sure that I'm more pouncing it in. I'm not so much as rubbing it in, because again, I don't want to tear, and now I'm going to rub. Let's see how that works. I don't want to tear up my foam applicator, and it's working nicely, so that's good. So I think that this is a great alternative for the most part to those blending brushes. Now, if I was doing a really detailed, intricate, delicate die, I mean stencil, I would definitely use a stencil brush or my blending brush. And then I can even, yeah, I'm going in even darker on this and just building that color. All right. So this is that. That's so cool. Isn't that awesome with that blending tool? And that's that. And you can't, I mean, I think it looks as good as it would if I did the blending brush. All right, so the next one I want to do is just like a rainbow theme with a stencil, with a rainbow stencil. And on this one, it's going to be this. I was going to lay a base color down, but I don't think I'm gonna. So I think I'm just going to use this stencil, and I might add a little bit of water at the end. And this is a little bit more delicate, but I think it's going to work really, oop, I got that crooked. I think it's going to work really nice. See here. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. So let's just go back and work our way down through the rainbow. All right, I have to turn it on its side because I'm left-handed. So a limoncello is going to be the first. I love limoncello. I think it's such a cool color. This is a very close second to my Rockin' Red is my favorite. Then next up, we're going to do grass skirts. So I'm just going to just really blend this in relatively quickly. And then after grass skirts, we will do Fiesta Blue. Let's see, it's 15 minutes. Trying to respect your time, you guys. All right. That really went in nice and fast and beautiful. And now we're going to do crushed grape on the bottom. And then I just will do a little sprit of water and lift up some of that color to give some droplets, just, you know, for fun. But I'll do that with the stencil still on. So that's super pretty. I'm loving that so far. Really pretty. All right, so you can just take, and it does interact with water, which is super cool. And then I'll take a paper towel. I like to use a paper towel and not a baby wipe for this, because sometimes a baby wipe will remove even more color because it's wet. So I like to lift it with something that's dry. And then there we go. It might have bled through a little. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, that's so pretty. So there you go. So that's just, I'm really impressed with these. I really, really like them. And like I said, I went out and bought 2 packs right when I saw it. It cost me like 10 bucks. So links are down below if you guys are interested in any of that for your convenience. But I just thought I would come on because I've been wanting to play with those for some time. And thank you. They do look pretty awesome. And I think it's because they're really good ink and just blending tools. So I've been wanting to play with them for some time, and I'm a big advocate now for Catherine Pooler. I'm not associated with her at all, but I really love her ink. Her ink is like fantastic, and it's hard for me to get sold on an ink, but this stuff is vibrant and beautiful. So I thought the mix would be good, and that was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. Ask any questions if you have any. And if you haven't subscribed, I certainly hope that you consider doing so. I am starting to go a little bit more live during the days and in the evenings, just because I have a lot of stuff I really want to work through, and it's kind of fun to do it on screen with you guys. And I like to do lives because I can't edit, and it forces me to and her ink, yeah, Trisha, I know her ink was on my wish list for like a year. It's quite an investment, but you know what can make it more doable? The minis. I actually am more of an advocate for the mini ink pads, which are these, than I am for the big ink pads, because you can get an entire set for $35, which, you know, and you can use the re-inkers on them. So this is a nice way to start. This is how I started. And then I went ahead and got, I had like Coral Cabana and Orange Twist in my stash that were given to me through a design team, and then Catherine gave me this one. So I had these 2 odds, and so I finished out this line, which I really like because it's like the carnival line and the party line. So it's bright and beautiful. So if you guys are interested in Catherine Pooler's ink, but they are pricey, you're right, I would highly recommend these minis. They're cheaper, and you can store them easier, and you can re-ink them just like you can the big ones. So that's something. Plus, you know what? These minis, I think, are really easier sometimes to ink up an ink pad with as well, because they are so juicy. So if you have a small sentiment pad, it's easier to do it on a little one than it is on a big one, because when you do a small sentiment on a big one, you can get like extra ink on your acrylic block when you dab, and that can transfer over to your project if you don't catch it, whereas you're less likely to do that on this. And if you have a big ink, a big stamp, this is really easy to flip over and just stamp and make sure you get it where it needs to go. So it's more controlled. So I actually prefer the small ones over the big ones. So That's just kind of my opinion. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will chat with you guys all later. Until next time, happy crafting.